Hi, this is Bill with Blue Line Offroad, and this is a review of the Bulletproof mounting solutions cell phone and GoPro mount for all Jeep JK series. They also make one for JL series, but this particular review is for the JK series. Before I tell you what I think about this mount, let me first tell you why I got this mount. Now, JKs are not known for having a lot of interior storage room, particularly for things like cell phones. So everybody who has a Jeep really needs a place to put things like a cell phone. Now, most people who don't have a separate standalone mount use whatever the Jeep can give you for it. A lot of them use the drink holders here in the middle, but I don't think that's the best option for me. I actually like to use, them for drinks. So that's not best for me. So I have the tray up in the front here above your shifters, which is a real small tray. It's not the best idea either. It's kind of out of the way. It's hard to get to because of the shifters, and it's kind of small. Doesn't allow you easy access to your phone. I'll put things like spare change and things like that in there. So that's not the best option for me. The only other real one is this tray up here on the dashboard. That's not a bad option, I guess, but it really doesn't allow you to have a whole lot of access to your phone. You can't see it, you can't do much with it. And plus it puts it right next to the windshield, where oftentimes you get a lot of direct sunlight onto your phone, which that's not a good combination, electronics and direct sunlight. So that's not a best idea. So then I started looking at mounts, and a lot of the mounts out there, at least the most popular ones, are the suction cup mounts to your windshield. And I wasn't a real big fan of those. I don't like that. They obstruct my vision. Plus a lot of them, the suction cups lose their adhesion after a while, and so that didn't work out real well for me. It's hard to work and manipulate up that far. So that didn't work. I then looked at one that it fit into my CD slot here on the stock radio. That's an interesting idea. Not the best for me. I don't use my CD player all that much, but a lot of people do. I gave it a try, and it didn't work. The arms on it weren't even long or strong enough to hold my phone. I have an iPhone 11 with a fairly substantial case, but the arms wouldn't even hold my phone. It would fall right out. So I had to return that one. So then I started looking around in different options, and I found one from Bulletproof, and I liked the interesting idea. So I contacted them, and they were very responsive, very helpful with all my questions. And they essentially told me that if you weren't happy, just return it and we'll give you all your money back. You can't really beat that. So I bit the bullet, so to speak. And I got this, and so far, my review so far has been absolutely 100% positive. I love this thing. And I will tell you, it holds my phone exceptionally well. It's very, very strong. And one thing I noticed about this thing that I wasn't really planning on is that I just got back from a 6-day trip where I drove a total of about 2,200 miles, just shy of that. Now, a lot of those miles were highway miles going to and from the particular route, but probably 500 to 600 miles were actually off-road, and some of those trails were bumpy, very bumpy. And my phone didn't move one bit. This mount held it like a bear trap. It was solid as a rock. So no issues whatsoever. Now, one thing that I was pleasantly surprised at, and I wasn't really counting on it because I was counting on just a cell phone and GoPro mount, but the way I'm on the trails is I keep a standalone GPS over here on the windshield. That's my preference. That's the way I like to do it. I put the GPX tracks in there, and I follow that route on the trail. That's just my preference again. So I use my phone here for a bunch of other different apps. One of the apps I use is Google Maps. I keep that up and running. I can kind of mirror the two together to make sure I don't miss turns and things like that. That you also have up, I kept a compass app up so I can keep, look at my direction of travel. Elevation, because oftentimes I'm through the mountains and I kind of like to look at elevation. It's entertaining. I also keep the Notes app up, which allows me to make notes on the routes, road closures, things like that. I also keep up, the GoPro app. Actually, I keep that up so I'm able to actually work the GoPro from my phone as opposed to having to reach all the way to the GoPro and keep turning it on and off, hitting record, whatever. Don't have to do that. Work it all from my phone. I also keep up, cell phone, email, texting. All those apps are up in those instances where I'm actually in cell phone range. But I also keep up, the weather map. I like to look at the radar. On this particular trip, by the way, I was the rain was kind of chasing me, so it was interesting for me to see where the rain was in relation to my my location to see how far away I was from the rain. So that was helpful to me. And the good thing about this mount is that it's so sturdy and so secure that I'm able to bounce back and forth between each of these apps and not have to worry about my phone. I didn't have to worry about dropping my phone, fumbling with my phone, anything like that. It was very, very solid. It almost made this out to be almost like a little mini workstation. That's how effective this was and how pleased I am with how this worked. Again, I wasn't planning on that. Again, I wanted a cell phone mount, and that's what I got, an exceptionally good cell phone mount, but I got the benefits also of almost like a mini workstation here. So my review of the way this thing works, I could not be happier. Absolutely thrilled with it. Now, installation on these things, I'll talk about that. I'm not gonna take this one apart and show you how it installs, but I have another one here, and I want to show you how this works. You're gonna get the box, very, very well packaged, no damage whatsoever. So when you're gonna pull this box apart, and you have several different pieces in here. The first piece you're gonna look at is the base mount. What that is, it has the 2 ball mounts on, which you can kind of see right here. It also has, you see 2 points of contact with this red tape. It's double-sided 3M tape, very strong tape. And you also see 1 hole here. It's for a mounting screw. You're not going to drill any holes into your dashboard. What you're going to do instead is you're going to pull out your little rubber tray here from your dash, from this little tray. It's going to expose a 7mm screw in this tray. Take that screw out. Use that screw as a guide here in this hole to determine your exact mounting point. Okay, once you figure that out, take your tape off, using the screw again as a guide, mount it to its exact location, press the tape firmly in place, make sure it's a clean, dry surface and all that. Make sure it's pressed in place very well. Snug down the screw. You don't have to tighten it, just snug it down really well. Let it sit for a day, about 24 hours. The tape will adhere to your dashboard more and more over time. After about 24 hours, it will be really, really secure on your dashboard. My arm was a little bit loose, not I want to say loose, but just wasn't quite stuck, and I was a little bit nervous at first. Give it about a day, it will adhere to your dashboard, I promise you. Okay, so once you get that base mounted, you then go to your carbon fiber arm. Very easy to work. It loosens with this wing nut, has it on both ends, so you can work the ball mounts on either end. It goes into these mounts here on the balls, and then you can mount your cell phone mount to it. Now here's the actual cell phone mount itself. Again, a ball on the back side, and here's the mount. It has rubber bushings on either side, so it really, really holds your phone. It's a spring-loaded arm, so it's very, very secure. No problem at all. This is your phone is not going to move. So you got that, and then you also have your GoPro mount in here, and this works very same way. Unscrew the wing nut, it mounts on there, and here's your attachment for your GoPro. Works exceptionally well. And I would have my GoPro up here typically, but I'm actually using the GoPro to film this video, so I can't have that. Now, very easy to install, exceptionally well made. I have no issues at all with this. Now, for price, this thing runs about 65 bucks, I think, retail. I would actually argue that you can pay a little more than that for this. That's how extremely well pleased I am with this and how well this thing worked. Very happy with how this piece of equipment performed for me. So if I were going to price this, I would probably maybe go a little bit more, maybe $75, because of the versatility this thing gives you. So that is my review of the Bulletproof Mounting Solutions cell phone and GoPro mount for the Jeep JK series. If you like this video, check your like button. And if you want to subscribe, press the subscribe as well, and you'll be notified every time I put a new video up. All right. Thanks for watching, and Blue Line Offroad, we'll see you on the trail.